You ever had a neighbor so bad, they make you question your faith in humanity? The kind of person who thinks the world is their personal playground, and you're just living in it. Yeah, I had one. His name was Gary, and he was the king of the neighborhood, until I crowned myself the queen of his downfall. This isn't a story about a simple complaint to the HOA. This is about a beautifully orchestrated, deeply satisfying masterpiece of poetic justice. You'll want to get comfortable for this one. I bought my dream house 2 years ago. A quiet cul-de-sac, a perfect little yard, everything was pristine. My neighbor, Gary, was friendly at first. He'd wave, offer to help with a delivery, seemed like a nice, normal guy. A few weeks in, I realized I'd made a mistake. A massive, soul-crushing mistake. Gary wasn't just a neighbor. He was a menace. It started small. Loud parties that lasted until 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. He'd park his beat-up truck across my driveway and refuse to move it. His dog, a yapping terror named Sparky, would use my flower beds as a personal restroom. I tried being nice. I talked to him. He just laughed it off. "It's the suburbs, sweetie," he'd say. "Lighten up." The nerve. I was at my wit's end. I finally decided to install a fence to give myself some peace. It was a beautiful, brand new fence. The day after it was built, Gary drove his truck through a section of it. Not by accident. He literally pulled up, got out, and pushed it over with his truck. He then blamed it on poor construction. That was it. No more being the bigger person. This wasn't about a broken fence. This was about a broken boundary, and I was about to teach him a lesson about boundaries he'd never forget. Wasn't going to fight him with my fists. I was going to fight him with paperwork. I went full revenge files. I became a suburban detective. I installed the most discreet, high-tech cameras I could find. I went to the city courthouse and got copies of every single code and regulation. I learned about zoning laws, property line regulations, and even the obscure bylaws of our HOA. I was looking for a weakness, a crack in his armor, and I found one. I discovered that Gary was running a business out of his garage, a resale business. He was buying cheap goods online and reselling them for a profit. And according to the city's zoning laws and the deed to his house, all commercial activity was strictly forbidden. This wasn't just a petty violation. This was illegal. And I had the proof. I didn't send a simple email. I created a dossier. A beautiful, professionally bound, 50-page document filled with time-stamped photos, security footage clips, legal references, and a detailed timeline of every violation he ever committed. I was a producer for my own revenge story. I sent it to the city zoning office and a copy to the HOA president. I had to make sure they couldn't ignore me. A week later, the fun began. The city inspector and the HOA president showed up at Gary's house. He came out, blustering and yelling. He had no idea what was happening. He thought he was untouchable. He tried to deny everything, but every lie was met with a citation and a fine. He was in violation of so many codes, his head was spinning. The fines were in the thousands. The neighbors were all watching. He was finally getting what was coming to him, and he was getting it in front of a live audience. But the best part? The city told him he had to stop all commercial activity and pay the fines. The fines were steep, and his business was his only source of income. He couldn't afford to stay. He was forced to sell his house and move. The king of the neighborhood had been dethroned, and not with a shout, but with a piece of paper and a well-timed camera. I didn't just get my peace back. I got justice. The house next door was sold to a lovely family with 2 little kids and a golden retriever that doesn't bark. My garden is flourishing, my sleep is uninterrupted, and my home is once again my sanctuary. So, if you're dealing with a neighbor from hell, remember this: you don't have to sink to their level. Sometimes, the most powerful revenge isn't a dramatic shouting match. It's a quiet, meticulous, and legally binding masterpiece of strategy. Because when tables turn, it's not just a change of luck. It's a change of power. What's the worst neighbor you've ever had to deal with? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more stories of sweet justice, like and subscribe to When Tables Turn.